Look, it's Third Strike. Oro has no partitioning whatsoever, or like next to none. The closest thing he has partitioning is keeping charge when jumping over the opponent, which is not hard. It's very, very easy. I wouldn't even say it helps in neutral, honestly. The only character who has to deal with charge positioning in any meaningful way is Juri. And Remy has like a combo that benefits from partitioning. Dash Fireball is not that big of a deal. Not with Oro. You really don't want to... Dashing backward and throwing a Fireball is kind of nice. And that's easy. Anyone can partition that. Dashing forward and throwing a Fireball is almost always a bad idea. Just purely because Oro's Fireball is kind of oriented for range play. It's not a good Fireball up close, it's a good Fireball from afar. When we watched the video before this one, there was a whole bunch of Ryu versus Dudley, I think. It's an Ibuki! Ibuki Kensan. Oh, cool parry, cool punish. He actually had a Tatsu there, but he didn't believe. It can be scary doing one button into Tatsu after a parry with Ryu because you need a standing opponent to get a Tatsu, or else you're unsafe. And you won't always have a standing opponent after a high parry. He didn't have anything else he could go for after that. Only Tatsu. There was like no other conversion from that low forward. Oh my goodness.
Are you ready? Go.
Cool combo. Oh, was that deliberate? Cool parry, actually. See, it was forward dash hard Tatsu, that's for extra screen carry. And also combo consistency. Nice light fucking fireball. That was probably still a punish. That looked like it hit, not at the tippy tip. Cool. Double O short. You almost never see that from Ibuki. I forgot that was a thing. That was a uppercut that she got hit out of, I think. Wasn't a reversal though. I'll fake cross up using the kunai. That kind of thing is easier to scope out in this game than it is in SF4, SF5. There are almost no opportunities to even go for it in SF5. Cool. Good comeback. Air kunai, like delayed air kunai stuff is literally like as good in SF5 as it is in SF4. There's like nothing really different about the way it works, it's just that there's no knockdowns that allow for it. Except crush counter sweep. And you can still get it after crush counter sweep. Oh, he wanted that to hit on the way up. It's amazing how much Oki changes everything else. Empty jump block. It was probably an early air parry, and by the time he didn't get anything to parry, by the time he was landing, he was like, oh fuck. He just landed blocking. Cool. That hit the trip guard landing frames. That was actually a very reliable way of getting out of it. It was a bit iffy, because he didn't know what Ryu was gonna make him land on, but he did the most obvious play, and Ryu did the most obvious play. Ooh, very nice. Optimal. Dizzy? It's very, very rare to see Ken dizzy with this super. It does like exactly enough dizzy to keep the dizzy bar from dropping. Ken gets almost no dizzies ever. It's not none ever, but it's like pretty rare. Ken's dizzy output is just not very high. It's like good on the fierces. It's more like his damage is so high that he'll like kill you before he dizzies you. This could still go either way. In fact, it's like pretty decent for Ryu. Okay. If Ryu got an errant couple hits and got stunned, the follow-up combo would have been almost enough to kill, and then he probably would have had meter for another super. What's hilarious is if you don't get the dizzy right away with Denjin, obviously, yeah, you get an EX combo when you actually get the dizzy. You get an EX donkey kick or something. But better than that... Oh, hold on, I'm gonna sneeze. Better than that, what was I saying? If you don't use an EX bar, you can do a combo, and even with your post-dizzy combo, you can get like 30% stun on your like jump, hard kick, stand fierce, heavy tatsu or something, crush fierce, heavy tatsu. That'll get like 30% stun, and then you can get another like block string into Denjin, and that will get like maybe another 60% stun. So if you get a dizzy, you immediately get a mix up into another dizzy. If you get a dizzy and choose not to spend any EX. I showed that off at the very tail end of my Ryu assorted notes, and it was actually probably the most impressive thing in the video. But it would probably fly people right by. Yeah. He has high stun on attacks that you don't look for. That's like a lot of the characters in this game. Hugo has a very real chance of dizzying his opponents, but a lot of his really high stun attacks, besides clap, are just like buttons he can't land. Like, yeah, he can land a stand fierce. It's not even that hard. But landing a crouch fierce or a crouch roundhouse or a fucking stand roundhouse, it's like impossible. Medium kick is a button that Ken occasionally uses. It's not great in neutral, it's like minus. And it advances, which is kind of a pain, but occasionally useful. His juggles go into it. Ooh, nice. The red! I remember 5-star talking about those were the kinds of reds that were really strong. He's not wrong. You really want to get red parries on scenarios where your opponent can't cancel. There's nothing... Why jumping? Just sit on the ground. 3. Is this 3 in the context of like 72 being a dizzy? Or 60 or something? I forgot the numbers that the training mode uses for dizzy. No, the training mode doesn't even have dizzy numbers written down. I think that's just a pure community effort. Ooh, another red. That's a super low risk red to go for, and it's super high reward. You don't get a punish on that on block, but it's reactable, and it does very low damage if you mess up the red parry, so it's really rewarding. Most overheads are like that. You can see the same with like Oro's overhead, same fears. Or like Ken's back forward. Any 2-hit overhead seems like it would be good because it blows up one parry into like button. But it's actually bad because they can block the first hit and red parry the second. But it's only bad at like a high level. Oh. One of the reasons Dudley's overhead is really good. Not only is it one of the fastest overheads in the whole game, but also, even if you parry it, you don't know if he's going to do like the towards medium kick follow-up, so you need another parry. You don't know if he's going to fucking... I guess that's it. I guess that's the only thing he can do. Ooh, okay. Oh, you don't see that very often. The low forward donkey kick combo. I think it can be kind of iffy. It's like a horizontal range issue. Nice. Not nice. You missed the cancel. That was a knockdown plus a lot of damage. Good combo. Almost always when Ryu goes for a down parry, he can hit low fierce. Even though low fierce has really shit range for you, it's so fast that it'll often hit the lane while it's still inside him. Almost always. It's like a really fast bot. It's like 4-frame startup. cool. He was probably... Everyone does parry there. That's like a super common place to parry. So it was kind of bad that Ken did something that was only a single parry at a predictable time. This is a high-level Shoto mirror. Surprised I didn't chip. Okay. Kens don't hard DP that much in this game. Every now and then. TC only works into light DP on most of the cast. Were you about to see a Dudley dizzy? Almost. Real close. Don't think he can do it anymore. That was probably a bad jump. It's especially bad because he missed the parry. Ryu? That was like his game to win if he got the Tatsu. Dudley would have had not that much health and been knocked over in the corner. Dudley's get dizzies kind of. It depends on what they land. Dudley's another character where the buttons he's usually looking for aren't the buttons that do a lot of dizzy. But he does have a lot of buttons that have high dizzy. The really notable one is his uppercut. His uppercut actually does like fucking 20-30% dizzy. So when you see like combos like that, you see that? You see how much dizzy damage that did? Let me actually play it back. Look at Ryu's HP or dizzy bar right now. See, that did a grip. But Dudley doesn't land his DP that much. He does have one combo in particular. Nice. Parry to slipping jab. That was strong actually, I think. He has one combo in the corner that does EX DP into regular DP, and that does like the full combo does like 70% dizzy. Look at that. Look at all that stumble. Dudley's another character where his damage is kind of high though, so he might kill you before he dizzies you. Nice. I think that would have been a blue parry. I think he had to go for the parry to get a punish there. I don't blame him for not doing it.
Are you ready? Go.
Subtract 15 for how long it takes to react to something. 15 to 20. And you might still have a punish there. 30 frames to snipe him with an early air normal. Meterless fireballs are not so common. Pretty much for shit like that. Nice parry, nice punish. Ah, Ikego. I got linked this already by Bungus. He was like, hey, look, it's Elena. I haven't watched it yet. I got plenty of footage already to watch, but I'll put it on my list. Or rather, I already have it on my list. In the sense that it's one of my YouTube subs. Huh. This should kill.
You win. Now. Into the heat of battle. Go for it.
Blueberry Urian is beyond based. The TC! I wish I was as good at Ryu as this guy is. It's done? Yeah. Oh, he went for the greed. You do have enough time to do that. That does work. You can whiff a low strong and then hard uppercut there. And it's like kind of worth it. Unfortunately, whiffed lights don't build any meter in this game. I shouldn't say unfortunately. Let's say okay. Yeah, punch that mirror. Oh, cool. So you have to whiff at least a medium, and Ryu's fastest medium to whiff is his low strong. Wow. Block string into the uppercut? Nope. Block string into uppercut to get the denshin on a block would have been kind of cool, but not great.
Now,
Yeah, what about it?
are you ready? Go.
I wish I had friends that talked about VODs. I don't know if that actually does anything. There are certainly things you can hit the mirror with to make it go away. But I think that hitting it with a normal doesn't remove a hit of the mirror or anything like that. I've seen mixed suggestions on whether that actually works. I used to just think it worked, and every time you hit the mirror, it would remove a hit from the mirror. But that's, like, I'm pretty sure that's not how it works now. But I don't know if it does actually go away faster if you're bonking it.
Are you ready?
Oro's Tengu Stone will instantly destroy it, I know that. What is this? I'm getting raided. Getting an 8 raid. Look, it's third strike. I'm not playing. It's just a-cho footage. Yeah, another dizzy? Oh, imagine getting dizzy twice in one round. 14-second round with 2 dizzies.
Into the heat of battle. Go for it.
I didn't even set my game as third strike, did I? Kihara, what is my current game title? Looking good? Yep. Even with mid-screen, that was nice. Okay, yeah, can you change it? Red Parry! Optimal punish, too! Holy shit. Well, he might have had TC there, actually. And I'm pretty... I don't actually know. I think it's character by character. Whether fierce, medium uppercut, super, or TC into super, or TC fireball into super does more damage. I know that having the fireball in the TC can do more damage or less damage depending on the opponent. And it's like super inconsistent too. It's not just based on the amount of life the opponent has. I heard they fucked with it a bit. People have been complaining about it, but I never go on the dashboard to change titles. I just
Strike. Now.
do it from the channel page. If only there was something I could type in this box that would fucking change it. Nice parry. It wasn't the end of the world even if he ate that. It was a 2-hit denshin. He's not gonna get stunned again this round. That probably wasn't a punish.
Prepare to strike. Now.
It's a nice kunai emote, by the way. Nice high connect. He still got the combo though. I can't get a fucking high connect and get a combo out of it like that. I have to get my jump hard kick pretty deep. Ken's close strong is pretty fast. It's not super duper fast, but it's like one of the faster buttons. His I think his jump medium kick has more hit stun than most jump medium kicks though. Don't quote me on that. But I think it has more than like Ryu's, for example. That being said, I think it was a jump hard kick we saw. Nice, good confirm. 10 hits, we got it. Third Reich. We could be having a third Reich broadcast right now. Oh, yep.
You win. Now. Are you ready? Go.
Oh, sick with punish. How did Nazis come back? You guys been wondering that? Like, what happened? Remember when Nazis were like the one villain that everyone could agree on? Oh yeah, Parry into block, big brain. 4 frames, that's about what I thought. I was like between 4 and 5. I guess technically between 3 and 6. Even though TC is -2. Remember when you could just have fucking shoot Nazis in a video game? Remember when Mecha Hitler was the villain of Wolfenstein 3D? Nice jumping combo. Ken was shaking pretty fast there, he almost got out of that.
You win. Now. Into the heat of battle. Go for it.
Wasn't there some game where we actually thought that Ibuki's friend, fucking Sari or whatever her name is, was gonna be fucking announced? People were suggesting that. It's like, when's fucking Ibuki's friend? What game was that? Was that Ultra? Was that like fucking SF3 Season 2 or something? There was like some point where people were actually discussing that character in the intro of this battle. The Doggo. The Tanuki. Donchan. Sakura's friend. There was a one Tekken 4, I think. There was a game where Zhao Yu's friend was like a playable character. That was smart. I don't remember her name, it was like Harumi or something. She was just a palette swap of Zhao Yu. Well, you know, a model swap. But it's kind of funny. If you want to low effort a character into the game, you can do it. Oh, that worked? Okay. Seth would be okay. I don't have any predictions at all, to be honest. I have no idea who it's going to be. I wouldn't hate Seth. I would particularly enjoy Seth if Seth had different specials. You don't like a fucking big red guy? I do. Like Miharu. Oh, she was in tag 2? I didn't even know that. Yes, you can OS parries, and in fact, it's very, very common. There'll be a lot more OS parries that happen than that you see, basically. Most of them won't actually activate. People OS parry, like, all over the place in this game. Good players. There's probably one right there. There's probably one right there. The taunt? That's... why? Why? What are you doing, dude? Ryu's taunt speeds his dizzy recovery, but Ibuki almost... It's not impossible for Ibuki to dizzy you, but it doesn't happen often. And honestly, even with 2 taunts, Ryu's dizzy recovery is not that good. Or it's like not that much better than normal, rather. They could put Hakan without focus attack if they just changed his other specials. And it's not like his specials are set in stone, he's only been one in game. Four's newcomers sucked. Maybe they did. I think Goken was kind of cool. Seth was okay. Juri was fantastic, but people don't like her gameplay. Abel's kind of cool. Nice red. I don't know what a Samir is. I like Rufus a lot, but most people didn't like him, and I didn't like fighting him. Yeah, in terms of character design, Juri's top 1. But even in SF4, she wasn't exactly popular to play. Or she was popular among very low-level players. And in SF5, she's popular among no one. So it's like, let's not, like, she's not popular in 5, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be a 5 apologist right now. I'll be a 5 apologist at other times. But let's not sell it like Juri's gameplay design was great in 4 either, because it wasn't.
Fighters ready. Engage.
I think they should redesign her again, to be honest.
Fighters ready. Engage.
The cum brains, dude. Juri attracts cum brains. The Kumers. They're red! I don't like Viper's hair either, but the rest of her character is cool. I like the titty tie. How do you see a Ryu this good and he still does Wicked PXDP? Well, that was still a punish. A lot of recovery frames on that. Nice. How'd that kill on the second hit? How'd that not kill on the first hit?
You win.
You have no dignity. Let's fight.
Not only do I not like her hair, but it specifically reminds me of Jessie, whose hair I also hated. You know, from Pokemon. What's funny is Jessie every now and then in the Pokemon show will appear with her hair down. And it looks great, and every single time it happens, everyone's like, holy shit, this looks great. This character design is 10 times better with fucking just regular hair.
Fighters ready. Engage.
I don't remember Viper's titties ever getting nerfed. That happened. That was a pretty free parry, I think, from that range. Okay. I think I went and looked up the hitboxes on Dudley's EX DP recently just to confirm it's invincible. And I think it in fact is. I don't think she was really popular enough to be an MVC3, to be honest. They just wanted a modern rep.
Let's fight like gentlemen.
Into the heat of battle.
Pretty much everyone was like, yeah, you can modify Viper's moveset to make sense in a Marvel game, but I don't. There wasn't at the time. Everyone was like, this is a kind of weird pick. Dudley jumps a lot, yeah. Dudley has the lowest jump in the game. Possible exception, Hugo, but Dudley's is a lot faster. And that means his jump is the least committal. What the fuck? It's an SA1 Yang. Alright, so for people who haven't had the talk on SA1 Yang, the super is kind of hard to combo into, and also doesn't give Yang any spare EX to play with. But it has a really weird gimmick on block. Basically, it's plus. It's like +1. But it's not very fast at all. It's like 8 frame startup or something, give or take, maybe a little bit more. And because of that, it's a single parry. You can just parry it post-freeze. But if you mess up the parry, you eat the super, and the super does like 30% of your health, 40%. It's a big gimmick super. It's worse than his. It's not horrible. It does the most damage of all the supers when you get like a command grab or whatever, stuff like that. It does do the most damage of any of the supers. Let's not beat around the bush here. But it has fewer setups than, well, none of Yang's setups. Yeah, none of Yang's supers have any setups, except the fucking command grab. And unlike SA2, SA1 doesn't really let you play around as much with EX Rekka. I wouldn't say Yang is particularly easy or hard to win with. SA3 Yang is like probably. I would. It's hard to say whether it's better than SA2. I guess technically speaking, it's probably a little bit worse. It's got a higher ceiling,
Let's fight.
but even if you're like hitting the ceiling, is it better than EX Rekkas? That's a hard call, because you basically can't use EX Rekkas with it. It's a hard call, big hard call. I think if you're a Yang player, it's up to you which one you run. And that's like honestly true in every matchup. A lot of Yangs only run SA3 in particular matchups because there's some characters where it's really easy to get the unblockables. But you can run it in any match. And it's like not horrible. Yeah, Yang has cross-up unblockables. If you get a dive kick at the right angle, you can be behind the opponent while your like shadows are hitting on the front. It only works on wide characters, right? I don't know, but maybe it can work on anyone. But he can loop it on certain wide characters. Ibuki has unblockables too. The ones that everyone knows about are Moro and Juri, but Yang and Ibuki also have a couple each. A lot of people only pick the SA3 in matchups with opponents where the activation is very easy to get up and hard to get out of the way of, and where you have the looping unblockables, so it's pretty much like Q and Hugo and stuff. I've only seen that a few times, but it's fucking incredible whenever it happens. Yang can hit a button, and even though he loses... The thing about the way the Gene works is that... nice. The way the Gene works is that every button Yun has super priority, so he can't trade. If like two hitboxes intersect, Yun's just wins clean. And the way that Yang super works is he has shadows that follow his attacks. So even though Yun can just hit Yang, and his buttons will win clean, the shadows will then immediately hit Yun. So Yang can force a shit ton of trades. Hugo is probably... I don't know, it's hard to say. I would say Hugo. Hugo's had historically more success. Hugo also performs better overall against the top tiers, but he also performs worse against his bad matchups. Like, Hugo versus Chun-Li is horrible, and Hugo versus, like, Dudley is horrible. But Hugo versus Yun and Hugo versus Yang are not that bad. Hugo versus Ken is not unwinnable. Yeah, Alex does have a lower ceiling. That's a big factor. Alex is like, max damage stuff post Parry is worse than Hugo too. Like, heavy claps are better. Heavy claps are about as hard to land as a heavy flash chop. But heavy clap is a lot worse on Parry. And therefore a lot worse in neutral. And then if you can't get either of those, Hugo still has better post Parry stuff with just SPDs. Or like Ultra Throw or something. Hugo's had a lot more tournament success than Alex over the fucking lifespan of this game. It's not even comparable. Alex has basically never won anything ever. Genki was one of the 5 winners on SBO, or not SBO, Co-op Cup 2017. And he won a decent number of matches in order to fucking... in order for that team to win. But apart from that, Alex has pretty much never won anything ever. Which is a pretty awful claim to fame. Hugo's won some things. No, it's probably... it's hard to say. Remy's less played than Alex. Sean probably is. I mean, 12 probably is too. I usually lump those 4 as the 4 bottom tiers in the game. That being said, Remy and Alex are noticeably stronger than fucking Sean and 12. Yeah, Remy's pretty rare. Piero, and then like barring out of the East versus West stuff, are like the only two Remys I ever see. You can just go and look at like the number of people who are playing each character, because I think that was on news articles for Co-op Cup and like the compilation stuff, the notes for Co-op Cup. They had lists of the number of people playing each character. As you would probably predict, there were like 3 Chun-Lis for the next most played character. More like 2. Chun-Li has the unpleasant combination of being common, or easy and good, rather, and therefore she's quite common. Remy would be another character where like a redesign would help him a lot. People always want the most popular characters back, but bringing back a less popular character would be a good chance to salvage them. Remy's a decent example of that. But we also have Guile and Nash. And I guess Nash is maybe canon dead now, as of SF5 story mode. And he was already canon dead before, so whatever. But Guile is a much more interesting character than Remy too, so like it's like a double whammy. You have a character who's a lot more iconic and a lot more interesting gameplay wise. 12 would be a good character to bring to a new game. He's exactly what I'm talking about. He would be great with a modern redesign. Nice, that's the dizzy. There's another one. 12 was the first character I ever played in Third Strike, fun fact. I don't think most people hate 12 or even have a strong opinion on him, he's just bad. I've never heard anyone hating him. He's just very forgettable. Yeah, they worked hard to try and make fireballs good in a game where fireballs were fundamentally not good. But all Remy can really do is stall and annoy you. There's no actual danger of him filling the screen with fireballs. That being said, if you've ever seen me play Everdread, it's not easy to beat a good Remy. Even in my fucking 7-3 matchup. More normals would actually help Remy a lot. So that's like a good suggestion, unironically. They should give Remy a back fist. But worse is like, he's also uninteresting, I guess. He's literally like a grunt, lore-wise. Oh, weird trade. I've seen that one before. But combo would be super good for Remy, because he really needs a motion move that like works in combos. That would help his character immensely. He needs complexity too. I don't know anything about whether Pugara plays this game. The idea of 12 is kind of cool. Remy has a couple anti-airs that aren't that committal. Obviously Flash Kick is about as committal as you can possibly get while also only being a single parry or 2 free X, which is pretty shitty. But making people land on Fireball is not horrible. Stand Jab has a good anti-air hitbox. Far Strong can be parried and he can still block in time if it hits Tippy Tip. Remy's got ways of mixing up when you land on him. It's more that everything's unrewarding for Remy. No, I only remember reading laws. I don't even remember what it said. Had to be EX there for Yang. He's like, his fucking sister is sick. It's literally like almost Mr. Freeze. I don't remember any of Remy's lore. I'll just take a stab at it right now. His sister is sick. He hates fighting. His dad was like a professional fighter. He's trying to fucking fight to raise money or something, or maybe he's trying to fight for revenge. But also he hates fighting, which might be a tongue-in-cheek stab at Iori, because he already looks decently like Iori. And in every single, when they list like the likes and dislikes in KOF games, one of the things they list for Iori is that he dislikes fighting. And whenever you like look at Iori, it's like he's always just picking fights with random fucking people.
Are you ready? Go.
Iori's like a super violent guy. It's like you really hate fighting Iori. So Remy hates fighting too. Anyway, his ending is like, I don't know, he like leaves his sister encased in ice or something. Which is also a little bit like Mr. Freeze. Cool. Where were the rest of them? There were only 3.
Prepare to strike. Now.
I think the point was that she was already fucking beyond saving and he was just letting go. But it was stupid. Did I reset? Yep.
You win.
I remember that ending because it showed us fucking bare stomach Remy.
Now.
Remy might have a terrible plot, but at least he looks nice. Remy is aesthetic. Ah, nice. I think Ryu could have timed that release so that Kim would have traded with it.
Prepare to strike. Now.
Nice whip finish. Shoto low forward and Shoto low roundhouse are like perfectly designed in this game. Oh, this guy comes in to fucking hate on Shotos right when I say that. A case study on whiff punishing could be written about low forward and low roundhouse. Wow, good shaking. I think the Shotos are really interesting in this game. Oh, nice. They definitely have no sexy males in the Street Fighter universe. Like Ken would be an example of a sexy male in the Street Fighter universe, and that's not that good. Are twins sexy? Not really. They're kind of cool, but I wouldn't really call them sexy. I don't know if I'd call Ryu sexy. I kind of like Beard Ryu is approaching. He has a manly archetype once he has the beard, or he fits more into one. Vega, yeah, Vega's sexy. Alex, I probably wouldn't say.
Engage.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna say Vega though. I think Vega's definitely some male fan service. Or, you know, however to call that, female fan service. Nice. Does that really do more damage than with the low forward? Because you can do low forward into that super, I'm pretty sure. That's the jab reset. You need like a pretty damn high roll to get that reset. In Japan, there was a gag that Zangief was ambiguously gay. Because, in Japan, a lot of really macho stereotypes are seen as, like, gay stereotypes. He got the parry! That's quite an annoying parry to do, but it has a pretty consistent timing. And then he just missed. He could have switched to blocking for that last one. I would say Rashid, apart from the beard, is pretty good. Not great. The beard is pretty goofy. I like it, but it's not sexy. It's a very goofy beard. I didn't even notice the beard until fucking story mode, to be honest. You can't see it on his model super well. He's got like a beard shaped like a fucking question mark. Shaped like the end of Riddler's cane.
Into the heat of battle. Go for it.
Rashid has a sexy personality. I'm not saying Geef isn't sexy. Maybe women do like those bar dudes. I'm just saying in Japan, Geef was a gay stereotype. It's funny because in America we didn't really associate a lot of those traits with being gay. So like that idea like wasn't there. And instead we had Vega, the kind of effeminate man, who was seen as being maybe ambiguously gay. Whereas in Japan that wasn't there at all. I would say Cody in pretty much every version of him has been sexy. The Final Fight one, yes. The Mayor one, yes. The Criminal one, yes. I would call Cody conventionally attractive. I feel like there's a lot of attention drawn to Cody's forearms in his current design, which women apparently like. Like how he's got he's got the long sleeves but pulled up, so you can just see the forearms, and how he's constantly touching them in a lot of his animations. And like the way he pushes his hair back there in his fucking wind pose and stuff. There's a lot of attention drawn to his forearms. Nice parry, nice punish. Ooh, that was unsafe. I think Vega, they deliberately try to make him look a little wild while also trying to make him attractive. So they're trying to like blur it. You can see that for like his wind pose in SF5, for example, where he's laughing.
Prepare to strike. Now.
Even in SF5 story mode, he was following around Juri and Cammy the whole game. He usually has association with the female characters. It's rare that like Guile has anything to do with Vega. It's always Chun-Li and Vega, or Cammy and Vega.
You win. Now.
The dolls in Vega.
Prepare to strike. Now.
There's a win quote I'll never ever forget, where it's win quote SF4 between Vega and Guile, where Vega mentions that Guile is making like offers of friendship that he wasn't interested in, and it just makes me laugh to think that Guile at some point to Vega during SF4 story is just like, bro, can't we just be friends? Do we have to be enemies? Oh, the car! What a weirdly good play. Pretty much every KOF man is male fan service, I would say. Like, literally, like, all of them. There is Chang and Choi. I would say pretty much everyone in KOF for the most part is sexy. Not even just Takuma, there's a bunch of dads.
Into the heat of battle. Go for it.
There's Leona's adopted dad, what's his name? Haidern. There's Saishu, he's a dad. Why has Saishu never come back? I like Saishu's gameplay. Oh, it's gonna be a trade again. We could have recovered first. She might have been able to combo that trade. Instead, she fucking jumped. Isn't that Giorno Giovanna's backstory?
You win. Now.
Only with no death.
Strike.
I think Saishu might... I don't remember if Saishu actually died. Did you know that before, when they in the making of Street Fighter 2, when they were designing the bosses, Vega during the prototype was a knight wearing armor? It's a rather famous story. Talk of friendship. Okay, so that's not exactly Gal. We don't expressly know that Gal's trying to fucking make friends, but it's implied a bit.
You win. Now.
Tried to make peace would perhaps be a better way to put it.
Ready? Go.
Vega probably is based on that character. The reason they axed the knight, apparently, according to the fucking interviews, is that the whole point of Street Fighter 2, this was World Warrior by the way, the whole point was like it was supposed to be people from all over the world fighting, and it didn't really make sense because like knights in armor aren't like modern anywhere. That'd be kind of cheap anyway. It's like not supposed to be all over time. It's just supposed to be all over the world. Nice! Got the Tatsu hit. I was gonna say it reminds me of fucking Time Killers, which is an extremely Kuso fighting game.
Prepare to strike. Now.
Anyway, the Vega ended up keeping a claw. So he still has a fucking weapon. Which still breaks all the rules, but whatever. Shadowly doesn't fight fair. And also having a claw when your opponent can literally like summon key fireballs, I don't know. I don't think anything of Same Show. I have no opinion on Same Show at all.
Go.
I've never played Same Show, I've barely watched Same Show. The only reason I had barely any interest in the new one is I had barely any interest in any of the old ones.
Final round. Now.
I thought 2 and 5 Special were the only ones people played. Oh, I guess that's what you're saying though, right? Pretty good is a lot better than genuine Kuso. And good but irrelevant is still worse than being pretty good.
You win. Now. Into the heat of of battle. Go for it.
Nice parry. Kind of iffy. That was like his only reliable dungeon that he could get that would be hard to parry. The extra stun was nice and he ended up getting the dizzy for it, so it definitely paid off.
Go.
This Ryu really likes the mid-screen dungeons and he's making them look decent. Damn, that is a good one. I wonder if Gal would like the Gal theme. Ducking isn't Fireball Invincible Frame 1, I don't think. I don't know whether it goes through Dungeon at all. But even if it does, you can't do it just purely on Wake Up. Where people are usually like... You definitely can't do it in any true block string sequence. Where Dudley would have to red parry. And if you're doing it in neutral, mid-range, there's a possibility of getting hit during your motion by the dungeon. There's a possibility of ducking into a late dungeon release. I don't know, it seems kind of risky.
Into the heat of battle. Go for it.
Fucking regular ass Hadouken. It's like light Hadouken too. Wonder if he wanted EX. Because he was just shy than either, I think. Nice. Oh, wow! That worked? EX Fukiage not only avoided Denjin, but also it hit Ryu's extended hurtbox for his fireball release. That's very surprising to me that that interaction went like that. Nice parry, bad punish. She's on medium donkey kick. Right? That was light, I think.
Engage.
Nice. Great engine. This is looking really good for Ryu, even though he's like down a lot. Now he's dead.
You win. Into the heat of battle. Go for it.
Wow. That's so dash. Oh, that's pretty scary. I did not know that. That's hilarious. I knew the Kusa kanji. That's like something that Chinese people do. I didn't know that Japanese people did that.
Are you ready? Go.
China does some hilarious things with kanji meaning like other things than its traditional meaning. Because that's like all they have. That's fucking how they... that's how they write. But like homophones are really common. There's some like homophone double meanings that people do in Chinese. Famously, people use homophones to dodge censors, because there's a lot of like censored stuff on Chinese internet. So people will just like write phonetically using other kanji.
Now. Are you ready? Go.
Damn, Zangief was the first one to fucking observe that Ken needs to learn to block. Ken players need to learn to block. The red. He got it. That's quite difficult. Mostly because you don't know when Ryu's going to release. But also because red parries are hard to get in general. Oh, I remember that one. The Gita Sagat one is famous. People were yucking that up when Vanilla came out, or Super, or whatever it was.
Fighters ready. Engage.
It's like a running gag that Geef has no idea how all these people have, like, ki. He just fucking worked out a lot and he got ripped. And yet, here's Ryu throwing fireballs and shit. It's like, how do you do it? I think he thinks it's unfair, specifically, that people can, like, summon, like, ki to fucking keep him out. Looks like a good one. Oh. He released almost immediately to get the punish, or to get the combo. It would have allowed Ibuki to potentially parry out if he waited longer. It is pretty unfair for Geef.
Are you ready? Go.
He's like operating by real world rules. In the real world, fucking Geef would beat Kemi every time. No attempt has ever been made in Street Fighter to explain what the fuck ki is. Whether fireballs are ki or whatever. It's just fucking never acknowledged. It's just that Ryu can throw a Hadouken and there's no fucking explanation. It's because part of it's Japanese culture. Hadouken is not a word that was invented by Street Fighter. There was already like a concept that like martial artists could punch so hard they could punch like wind through the air. Or like summon their ki to punch people across long distances, shit like that. Street Fighter didn't invent that idea. It's just the universe treats it as already being true. Nice red. What's funny is that safe on block or the safe on parry. It's 0 on parry. But if you parry just the second hit, it's faster than parrying both hits because parries take kind of a while. And so instead of being 0 on parry, it's like minus. Ken is minus 0. Both Ryu and Ken for their EX fireballs are 0 if both hits are parried. But Ryu's on block is like 0 as well, I think. And Ken's on block is like -6. So they've got a pretty big difference in the recovery. But on parry it doesn't matter. Yeah, Mr. Karate's palm is like a Hadouken. Nice, good confirm. Have you ever played Final Fantasy Tactics? You ever make a monk in that game? You know how monks have a skill called Wave Fist? In Japan it's just called Hadouken. And that's what Hadouken means anyway. It means like Wave Fist. It's Wave Motion Fist. Literally speaking. He's a nice guy in general. Ingrid's tongue-in-cheek on purpose. The thing about Ingrid is that she was originally one of 3 characters from Capcom Fighting All-Stars, which never got released. And she was the only one who snuck her way in because she was probably the most finished into Capcom Fighting Jam, which was the game that salvaged Capcom Fighting All-Stars. And Ingrid has a lot of things that are typical of Mary Sue's, okay? For example, the white hair. For example, the fucking unusually colored irises. For example, the relevance to the villain. Stuff like that. If you want to look at the other 2 characters, their names are Luke and or Rook, depending on translation, and Daisuke Dejima. Anyway, in Alpha, they reveal, in Alpha 3 Max, they reveal that she is apparently, it's kind of ambiguous. She knows where Bison's psycho power came from, and she had access to it before he stole it. That's like what we actually know. But pretty much everyone, and it's not like she was the one exclusively with access to it. Like, she might have been one of several people with access to it. But the way that it was translated and the way that it was written made it kind of sound like she was like the original owner specifically, and also that it was like originally her power. And combine that with like her extremely Mary Sue appearance to reveal that like she's the originator of the psycho power, and fucking M. Bison just took it from her to make her like a super powerful character. Everyone jumped on the Mary Sue thing. It's like, wow, this is a really stupid, like, this is literally like a fan character. And Capcom has like acknowledged that in more recent games. Now it's like part of the fucking lore. Like the comic that went along with Cross Tekken. Should he confirm? And actually the intro story mode of Cross Tekken, I think. In Cross Tekken, she was the one who created the Pandora's box, which would like, I don't remember what the Pandora's box was actually supposed to do. Everyone thought it would like grant a wish or something, I think. Everyone's plot is to get to the Pandora's box. Anyway, they very casually revealed that she was the one who made it, which is like another like semi-god thing that she did. For SF5, they designed a model for her, or like a, not a model, but like a, what do you call it? They made a visual design for her. If they ever used her. What do you call that? Concept art. They made concept art for her. Not the costume for Karine, but like just concept art in general. And yeah, one of the things they made was Dark Ingrid. The concept art looks pretty good in my humble opinion. But one thing that was pretty weird is that the Dark Ingrid was flat, and they like acknowledged that. Like the regular Ingrid has some fucking, not huge, but she's got breasts. And the Dark Ingrid is like fucking perfectly smooth chest. And I'm just wondering to myself, like, why? I don't know what Kiki. See the artist. There was like stuff that was hosted on the CFN Shadaloo pages. A lot of the SF5 designs came from that, but not all of them are consistent. Like, a lot of them were revealed, and then we got the character later, and it's not the same design, but some of them were revealed and then are the same design. For example, Ken in the like UFC kind of fighting suit started there, and that became his main design. Dark Ingrid would actually be super cool. I would actually be down for that. That'd be like the goofy reveal I need. Dan also has that same kind of top that Ken has, by the way. in his concept art. Fun fact. The Sean, if memory serves, is pretty much just the Sean that appears in game. But Dan's wearing the same shit that Ken is, where his gi is like hanging off his waist and he's got the skin tight suit above it. Yeah, the Akuma one was different. Although I'm a big proponent of the lion Akuma, to be honest. Someone find it again. What's the name of those fucking statues? Lion statues outside of Shinto temples, because Akuma's a reference to those. And that goes by most people who like don't know about Shinto culture. Akuma is covered in references to Shinto culture. Oh, this is Dizzy. And in particular, the main he has is to make him look like those lion statues outside Shinto temples.
Let's fight like
Koma Inu. I think that's it. Yeah, everyone Google Koma Inu really fast and get a look at them. If they're Inu, they're not even dogs. I mean, they're not even lions. But, like, his design makes a lot more sense once you know what those things look like, because those are on a lot of temples. And Akuma's traditionally fought on a fucking Shinto temple. Or near one. Nice. He definitely looks goofy, don't get me wrong. I think he looks goofy. Nice. But I like Goofy. Oh, the fierce hit late! What was up with that? Tatsu dodged most of the hits. That did almost no damage. Look at that. Look at Ryu's health bar. Not too bad at all.
Now, are you ready? Go.
Redesigns that were trying too hard. I would say Birdie. I think they definitely... some of the redesigns got less... I feel like they were trying not to offend anyone with some of the later redesigns. Like, if you look at Sagat, it's like, yeah, we're just giving you exactly what you want. We're not fucking around with this one.
Prepare to strike. Now.
I remember people reacting to Guile when they first saw his face. And his crazy-ass fucking sharp brow. A lot of people were like, Guile looks pretty ugly, but then everyone else was like, you know, Guile's always been pretty ugly. People took Guile's ugliness pretty well. When Ken was ugly, everyone fucking hated it, but when Guile was ugly, everyone's like, yeah, Guile's ugly. Guile was ugly in a way that was consistent with his previous design. I like the Sakura redesign. I really like the Ibuki outfit, to be honest. Ibuki's outfit looks great, in my opinion. Ibuki's new design in its default color is actually one of my favorite outfits in the game, even though it's a default outfit and a default color.
Into the heat of battle. Go for it.
Balrog's just one of his alternate costumes from SF3 for the most part. The Apollo Creed. It's good. One of Balrog's main characteristics is that he's American. So having that fucking hood, cape going on looks really good on him. Sakura's models definitely don't do it any favors. The way that her fucking leg clips during her crouch animation looks so bad. For those who don't know, when Sakura's crouching, her leg just blatantly goes to her skirt.
Now.
Juri's, I do not like Juri's. But her nostalgia costume is like the best nostalgia costume in the whole game. Or the best costume in the whole game. Kareen is just fine. I have no strong opinions. Kareen's basically the same as I remember. Same with Mika.
You win. Fighters ready. Engage.
Cool. Throwing Makoto and still punishing the jump out. No, they didn't though. They got it perfect in 5 when they added the little long sleeve bare midriff coat thing. Actually, that's like a mixed bag. I think it's better, but it covers the spider on her back, which was part of the core design. But then again, in SF5, you can have the coat on or not. It's optional. You can hold hold keys to make it go away.
You win. Now. Into the heat of battle.
That tiny bare midriff long sleeve coat thing, I really like. I like Sim, yeah. Sim redesign is perfect. Sim should have always had a beard. That's what I realized when I saw Sim in SF5. It was like, why didn't Sim have a beard until now? Sim's design fucking bleeds beard. If you just asked me if Sim had a beard, I would say yes, even if SF5 Sim didn't exist. It just feels like he does. I don't like Bison's redesign much. It's like mostly the same. They just added a cape and changed the way he stands.
Into the heat of battle.
And the white hair, and that's like it. Nice. Oh, not nice. I like the way that Bison seemed more combat ready, the way he used to stand. With his fucking sideways stance with his hand out in front of him and his knees bent. I kinda like Nash. I like the way he swings his arms and shit. But the actual Frankenstein stuff, it's like whatever. Ken's is definitely oof. Well, I like the way that Ken looks below the neck. Everything above the neck is awful, but below the neck is great. Blanca,
Go.
I like the Blanca-chan outfit a lot. That's hilarious, and it also fixes the primary issue with most people have with the character, which is that he was ugly. Now Blanca's one of the cutest characters in the game. But the default outfit, it just looks like Blanca, I feel, which is not great and not bad. They just delivered. It's like, yeah, it's Blanca. Honda looks good. Adding the fucking belt, pretty harmless. Still Honda. Honda should be mostly naked. That's like part of his design, I feel. Honda should be wearing almost nothing. He should be wearing a fucking apron, and that's it. Or a fucking loincloth or whatever. I like the gameplay design of Nash a lot, actually. And we already have we have Guile as well. They were already too similar. They were always too similar. And it was fine when it was like, oh, Guile's not in this game, so play Nash and he feels like Guile. But now they're both there, it's like, they might as well be different. And Nash's is quite interesting in my humble opinion. I don't like the dash stuff too much. I like that he has good movement, but I don't like a fast forward dash that much. I definitely don't like a fast back dash. Those have unpleasant gameplay implications.
You win. Now. Fighters ready. Engage.
Don't like Kage. I don't think I've ever been happy with an Evil Ryu design. I just don't like Evil Ryu. At least gameplay-wise, it's pretty fun. I like the idea of a Shoto that's just fucking, you know, different from the other ones. It's like, how did they mix it up this time? I gotta admit, it's a guilty pleasure. I like seeing how Ryu's different from Ken. I like seeing how Akuma's different from Ryu. I like seeing how Evil Ryu's different from Ryu. But Evil Ryu has always been a boring character design. Obviously, he can't have any gameplay or story implications because he's always a non-canon character. And his design is literally just Ryu but angry in most games. Akuma was already Evil Ryu, that's the issue I have. I think that's what it is, to be honest. The story implies that Kage and Ryu are actually different people. So, like, maybe there was some fucking... He, like, broke off. Like Piccolo and Kami.
You win. Fighters ready. Engage.
Nice. Look at all that damage. 10 seconds in, she's dead.
Into the heat of battle. Go for it.
I would actually really like if they had a Street Fighter set in the future and we've got like the Nirvana Akuma. That would actually be really cool. It's like, yeah, I figured all that shit out. Yeah, I attained Enlightenment Mastery. Like Carol from FE7 to FE6, if anyone ever played either of those games and knows Carol.
Now.
Carol's like a complete edgelord in 7, and then 20 years pass and he like finds fucking inner peace and becomes a sword god. I want something like that with Akuma. Nice, big damage. Huge Denshin. Level 4 versus level 5 Denshin actually do... Like, all Denshins don't have that much damage difference. Oh, it didn't kill. If stand forward there, worked there, low forward would have. He probably just thought it was going to kill, or else he would have done a fucking combo.
You win.
Yeah, I want it. I don't think it'll ever happen, because SF3 already was unpopular for that reason, among others. Neat. No juggle there, by the way. Ryu's jump strong is JP3 per hit, so he got to 6 immediately upon landing it. And then he would have to hit super, super quickly in order to get a juggle, which he couldn't do from that angle. A game with Mel would be fun. And like a fucking Ryu is the Goken function.
You win.
2049, you mean Street Fighter 2015? 2049 is Rush. there Street Fighter 2049 as well? Street Fighter 4 is just supposed to be an interquel. They didn't really do anything super crazy new with the story. Everything that happened in SF4 is stuff we already kind of knew. They were just like characters who were named and stuff. Bison was already making fucking backup bodies. That was already something that was happening. So like, you know, now we got Abel and Seth who were a prototype and a actual backup body. SF5's plot literally ends with them killing Bison. Now don't get me wrong, they could absolutely bring him back. But, you know, technically speaking, right this second he's dead. And we got Gil coming in. They could, like, find a creative way to have it not be Bison come back. They could have a Bison function. We've got a lot of characters, like, that they could take to be important characters. Like Fong's little protege whole thing. Like Ed. I would enjoy a heel turn for G as well. Right now G is like a fucking, we have no data on whether he's good or evil. Maybe the G stands for good. All we know about G is that he came out of fucking nowhere. He's as strong as he claims to be, if not significantly stronger. And he's trying to build influence. Bet you canonize that. Oh, I would have been very afraid to hit that normal. I love when there's a dizzy trade. I've been dizzy after winning before. Setting upside down G. I think when they designed G, it was like, let's make Q, but we won't call him Q, and that way no one will be mad that Q's not in the game, or that Q is different. We won't have to make him exactly like Q as long as he's not Q. And then I think they were like, let's make a character with fucking a one-letter name. Both characters dizzy at the same time? I don't think so. G has like strong potential to be nefarious. G would be a good villain if he was revealed to be evil. I just like G's design a lot, to be honest. What I was gonna say though is that I think that a lot of the things I think they started with the G and worked backwards. They had the one-letter name, and it's like, what could this G refer to? Q is ambiguously evil, and G is ambiguously Q, so I don't think it's too far off. Q goes around fucking crushing people's heads and shit. Chasing children. We don't see him do that much actual evil things, but like from what little we know, he seems to be quite violent. Nice. And the corner only punish. Oh, I like that theory. The whiff jump hard kick. Was that meter build? Did he whiff that jump hard kick on purpose and then DP because it would build more meter than landing the jump hard kick? What remorse does Q show? He just fucking dots all over the place. He beats someone and steps on their head. Alright, control. I'm down for a mind-controlled fucking G. Or a mind-controlled Q or whatever else.
Gutter trash.
Final round. Go for it.
Cool, good confirm. I fought a Dudley before who could do those towards medium kick confirms, and it's terrifying. It's really powerful. Because that's like a pretty good button. I think it's plus, but don't quote me on that. You can just do it, it's advancing, it's got lots of active frames. And anytime it lands, he can super on reaction. It's super annoying fighting a Dudley who's good at that confirm. It's like super powerful. It's like fighting a Ken who's got good low strong confirms. There's also ambiguously a lot of Qs, or else Q can teleport. So whether G can be Q at all is like, you know, there are a lot of problems with it. What if G's just gathering people and turning them into Qs? That's actually super cool. I'm down with that. I kind of hope they never explain it, though. Theorizing is fun. Or they need to, like, imply. They need to leave a lot open. Considering that every single story mode had some vague attempt to explain the story costume except G's. I would say it's quite likely that G's story costume is fan service. But it's fan service in the sense that, like, you know, I don't know if it's non-canon. It's just that, you know, there was no attempt to explain it. Still ambiguous whether the two characters are actually related, or to what degree they're actually related. But it's a cool idea. i.e. fan service. And also you get to play as Q. i.e. fan service. Nice. Who the fuck put him in a robo-suit? Me. I like the idea of G having a morality that, like, exists outside our morality. So that's kind of cool. Zero's beat. Look at all that meter. He canceled into a donkey kick because the parry timing would be different from like a cancel into DP.
Are you ready? Go.
Gil is a villain who genuinely sees himself as good. We already have one of those. Ooh. But it's okay, you can have multiple and they can all be good.
You win. Now. Prepare to strike. Now.
Too far away to get a good mix. Good confirm. These guys at Game a-cho are super good. I wonder who they are. Like, how would we ever know this was fucking Kashi playing Ken right here?
Are you ready?
What if this is just fucking Kuni Ryu? I don't know any of the names of the players who play at a-cho.
All right, that's cool. Final round. Go for it.
That dizzy is gonna be a problem this whole round. It's not gonna go away. I don't fucking know where it is. Osaka sounds right, but I can double check by doing some scrolling and some digging. You can probably just Google it. Oh yes, the double EX combo. Oh, let's look at that again. Those are always so beautiful. Ryu has some really cool corner combos. That got 2 hits. That normally gets 1.
You win.
There are a lot more characters playing SF5 than you would probably guess.
Into the heat of
You can see it every now and then. Kuroda apparently plays SF5 somewhat. Hayao is a big SF5 player. He's like got crazy high points on the ranks. His handle, his CFN is like Hayao 880 or something like that.
fighters ready.
Every now and then I'm watching some like high level footage and it's just like I see a name, it's like, oh shit. Like Deshiken. Deshiken plays SF5. Oh, it's Kyoto. Deshiken plays Kareen. Not even Ken.
You win. All right, that's cool.
Yeah, Kokujin plays Rog. A lot of the SF3 big names play SF5. Or not like a lot. Well, I don't know how many. But I see it quite frequently. I see it like a SF3 big name playing SF5. Be more accurate. I don't know how many play. But it's not so rare. Wow, I didn't know that worked. You got crouch roundhouse into short swing blow. He's not bad. He's one of the better Japanese Korean plays I've seen. I'd say that Bonchan's probably the best one.
Now,
Bonchan is like maybe the best Korean. I didn't used to think that. I used to think it was punk free. They used to. Bonchan's like picked up on other characters now. He used to play Korean more exclusively, and I used to think it was like punk free was better than Bonchan. But I feel like Bonchan is a little bit more immune to being neutraled.
Final round. Engage.
No, that's what we just said. Deshiken plays Korean. No. I don't know if Korean really has bad matchups per se. But I will say that because he can pick Sagat in the matchups where Sagat is dominant, Bonchan has a weapon.
You win.
You have no dignity.
Now.
Let's fight like gentlemen.
Prepare to strike. Now.
Sagat is like, whether he's a strong character is hard for me to say. I think he's alright. But there are definitely matchups where he's really strong. Or not, maybe not really strong, but like I think Sagat has 6-4s he wins. You know what I mean? And like a decent number of them. Like 3 or 4 or 5.
All right. That's cool. Prepare to strike.
At least. Sagat is good against characters who have to be honest too. Or good against characters he can force to be honest. He definitely is super honest. I don't know if I truly believe that prevents a character from being viable. I think a lot of bad characters just happen to be honest. There are some good characters who are pretty honest. Honestly, Kareen's pretty honest. She's just good. But she doesn't usually bullshit you. I guess, no, it's more that Kareen's dishonesty is kind of bad at a high level play. It's not that she's honest. She's got a lot of dishonest stuff. It's just that a lot of people can defend themselves against it properly, so a lot of good Korean players don't really do it. In terms of the actual amount of dishonesty, Korean's one of the highest in the game. Walk speed is definitely a good feature for Korean, but I would say that walk speed is an honest feature.
Are you ready? Go.
But that's me. There's a few of those. A lot of them are meter dependent. Like Ibuki has a low forward you can reaction cancel, but the only thing you can cancel it to is trigger. And it's quite good to cancel it to trigger, but obviously that's not usually available.
Enter the heat of battle. Go for it.
Honest pretty much means bad mix, yeah. It means you can't get gimmicked by it.
Final round. Go for it.
You can have a pure mix-up that's honest. It's not that it doesn't exist. That's probably a really good example I can think of. Ooh yeah, big combo.
You win.
The closest thing Sagat has to an uppercut, I mean not uppercut, to a gimmick, is that like, maybe you'll think that you'll be safe to jump over a fireball and he DPs you before you can land. Oh, Sonic Soul, are you serious about playing third? You like told me you were kind of like thinking about getting into that, right? But I haven't actually played you yet. My third game is pretty good.
Prepare to strike. Now.
Damn. Trash still. Who are you playing, Ken? I already forgot. DP trade combo. Sagat doesn't usually trade DPs at all. It's not usually a thing that happens. Kuma and Sean. That's pretty try-hard characters.
Final round. Engage.
I don't remember Kareen live forward nerf. Were we talking about Season 5? I don't think we have any actual official Season 5 patch notes yet. But people have data mined some stuff from the footage. There's nothing wrong with being tryhard in this game. The top tier characters are also fun. That being said, Akuma's pretty hard to do well with. Akuma's one of the hardest characters in this game to do well with, to be honest. I mean, obviously, like a low tier character is harder. Yeah, towards hard cake doesn't work in that kind of context. But DPs usually don't. It's not like a thing for DPs to trade in SF5 that much. Ryu is one of the easiest characters in SF3, but no character in SF3 is super duper easy. Ryu is Parry reliant, and that's like hard by default. But most engine stuff is pretty easy, and most of Ryu's combos are pretty easy. So he's definitely one of the easiest characters. I could make a SF3 difficulty tier list. People might disagree with it though.
Are you ready? Go.
Yeah, no one in Third Strike is a zoner. Like, true zoner. There are a couple characters where zoning is a decent way to play them. For Remy, it's like the best way to play him, but just because his rushdown is even shittier. You can play a zoning Chun-Li no problem. Well, not zoning, because you're not zoning with fireballs, you're zoning with, like, keeping the mid-range with normals. Oro can zone too, in a pretty similar way, just hanging back and poking. Oro is one of the most defensive characters in the game if you like. But no one zones with, like, fireball spam except Remy, and Remy sucks.
Prepare to strike. Now.
Akuma can zone. Akuma's one of the big zoners. Akuma can be played like one of the most defensive characters. Just doing neutral jump fireballs and jump back fireballs and stuff like that. Nice. Fireball spam is... he can throw EX fireballs, but regular fireballs are not that good for any Shadow. They're just too weak to jumps with having too little reward. And jumps are just not very risky in this game. Ryu can throw fireballs, but I wouldn't say he can like have that be his game plan. Some are. The straight ones aren't. Yeah. Akuma's air fireball is legitimately quite good. Oro's up fireball and Urian's up fireball are both quite good. Most super fireballs are pretty great. But the ones that just fucking travel forward are all pretty boring. Not very strong at all. I don't even remember how Gil's fireballs work. They're all 2 hits, right? I think. I don't remember, but I think Gil has no EX. But all of his moves are so good they might as well be EX moves.
Now for battle. Fighters ready. Engage.
There's not a whole lot of anti-fireball stuff either, to be honest. There's a little bit. Like, yeah, ducking goes through fireballs. Yeah, EX fucking Yun shoulder goes through fireballs. The number of supers that go through fireballs is pretty low, I think. It's not like a crazy number. It's like, yeah, Chun-Li's does. But what else?
Are you ready? Go.
There's a bit of negating it. Not a whole lot. Yun's palm, Yang's palm, Alex's flash chop, Hugo's clap. I'm already running out. Yang Super 2 goes through fireballs and it's quite good at it. That's another one besides Chun-Li. It's like the same thing. Fireballs don't build meter until they're blocked, and if they're parried, they never build meter. And they also build like no meter in general, just because like fireballs build no meter in general in this game. I'll be right back. I gotta take the world's fattest pig.
You win. Prepare to strike. Now. Are you ready? Go. Final round. Engage. You win.
Here I am.
Now. Prepare to strike. Now.
Nice heavy DP. Uppercuts work reliably against twin dive kicks. How's Griffin? The glory of getting stuns that don't break your combo,
Fighters ready.
and then maximizing your damage in that combo, only to maximize the damage of your post-dizzy combo. Cool. Yang tried to use a bar to save himself. Nice.
Final round. Go for it.
Oh, big. 10 Shokyaku. She would be better. Do you really want to make Chun-Li better? It probably wouldn't be a huge deal. Down charge doesn't come easy. That would have the same motion as her spinning bird kick, so they'd probably change one of them. Spinning bird kick might be a charge back forward kick. Or something like that. That would probably be a fairly easy mod to make. In fact, you wouldn't even need a mod, you just need one of the versions of the game with the dip switches, because that's one of the dip switches. So you can already do that with Online Edition. Or the Dreamcast version, or the Anniversary Edition. They all have that. I don't remember if the Dreamcast version has the dip switches, I'm pretty sure it does. Anyway, you can just do that. You can't play on ranked like that, though. But I think you can make an endless lobby with dip switch settings that are unusual.
Fighters ready. Engage.
Oh, no, you can't put every Seafer on everyone. There's the dip switch to make it so characters have access to all three of their Seafers. But you can't give everyone like fucking electric snake. Best abuser of Gene. What a curious question. Quest Strike mod doesn't have all supers for everyone. Best I've ever seen. Yeah, it'd be like impossible to fucking get the super you want when you've got 48 supers or whatever. However many the number is. Cool. The OS fierce for the jump. Or the reaction fierce or what have you. Aura, he'd be up there. He's got that clean launch, but he would be unable to approach. That would be nice, yeah. You get a ton of meter back. He'll be unable to approach in a way that hits grounded opponents. That's one of the really big things about Yun's towards Fierce, is that it moves forward while also launching in a way that Yun can combo out of. So that would be a really dominant thing to have in Gene. So think of a tool like that. Either something that launches or allows an easy combo into something else that launches. Or an easy, like, you know. Necro wouldn't even need to get near you if he was doing Gene stuff. He would do Gene stuff from half screen. Oh, nice parry. Ryu was plus there. Parrying takes time. When they did it with all of Oro's supers are double quarter circle punch, for example. When they did it, if you turn it on with the dip switches so that characters have all three of their supers at once, they all get unique motions. They like program that into the game. So like Oro's Tengu Stone is like down back punch all of a sudden, even though that's not its normal motion. Booger is like down forward kick, shit like that. I don't know if those are actually them. I forget what they are. But that's how it works. Most technical character, probably Yun, or perhaps Urian. Probably Urian and then Yun. They would be the two, though. Final answer, Urian, then Yun. Makoto's probably up there. Well, she's not crazy technical, but she's got a lot of really specific hitbox interactions you kind of need to know. Everyone in this game is pretty damn technical. Oro needs to know a lot of rules to pick up his optimal juggles and whatnot. Nice, holy shit! He could block swing into super. Ooh, that should have been uppercut. Did he mean to get uppercut? Uppercut would have built enough meter for him to super, and Yang didn't parry. It might have been deliberate. He might have thrown the fireball just to fucking catch Yang doing an instant parry. I don't know. I think an instant parry would still parry the fireball, to be honest. He was expecting to build more meter than he built because Yang parried, and you don't build meter when your attacks are parried. So that fierce into fireball would have normally led to super, but because Yang parried, fucking he didn't get the meter he needed. Oh, nice. That was actually 10 times harder because Yang got hit midair. That meant there was no danger of Yang interrupting him. It's 2 AM and I'm not tired at all, but like I need to wake up before fucking 6 p.m. tomorrow. Which means I need to be asleep at a somewhat reasonable time. Nice. So I'm probably going to go once this video ends, which is probably still another 30 minutes. 20.
Now. Are you ready? Go.
Nice. I don't know any of these players' names. They're not on screen.
Are you ready? Go.
Nice jump. It's kind of funny that he landed and instantly did medium uppercut, but like that's like 4 frames, isn't it? It's like the same speed as his medium punch. Hadn't he have just done medium punch? Got the TC. Nice. This is the YouTube Game a-cho channel.
Now. Are you ready?
And it does have Gara. No punish though. Donkey kicks are pretty minus. Kind of gets TC there. It's even worse because it's point blank for Ryu. So it's not only very unsafe, but also you're like as close as you can possibly be. Yang is pretty easy. Yang probably has one of the simplest game plans in SF3. And that's to make you block Rekkas and or eat Rekkas. Close strong Rekka. Low forward Rekka. Any light normal into EX Rekka. Pretty much it. You don't even need to use the supers, like any of them. I think second Rekka is minus, and potentially unsafe, and third Rekka is definitely unsafe. First Rekka is usually fine, but I think they're all minus. There's always the danger of people parrying the Rekkas, though. EX first Rekka I think is plus. It's like +1 maybe. And then all the EX Rekkas. You have to do like 5 EX Rekkas and then be unsafe. Like 4 EX Rekkas is still safe, I think. EX Rekka is pretty nutty. You can also just stagger EX Rekkas. EX Rekka is usually called the best EX move in the game. Nice parry and punish, holy shit. I don't know if I've ever been in a position where I did parry into forward dash. I feel like that's something you would do if you had a pretty hard read on what you were parrying and how unsafe it was. Shadow Sweep would be a good example. From that range, Shadow Sweep was the big threatening thing, and that's pretty fucking minus on parry, so forward dash was not bad. Yang is questionably the easiest character on a basic level in this game. Others might disagree. The Shadows are pretty easy too. You might say that Chun-Li's pretty easy, but at the very least, you've got wow, the fucking light DP trade with, and then he combo with stand forward. That was nice. In order to be a decent Chun-Li, you have to be able to do the low forward confirm, which is not hard, but not free. Probably Yang. That'd be a good beginner character. The main difference between Yang and Yan is Yang is a lot safer, and safe is a really important thing for a beginner. I think you could, as a beginner, you could play almost anyone in this game, though. I would say no one's off limits to a beginner. The only advice I have is if you're a beginner, you probably shouldn't play Sean. Or like if you're anyone, you shouldn't play Sean. And I would tentatively throw 12 on there too. You probably shouldn't play 12. But apart from that, you can play pretty much whoever you want. But you should be aware that some characters have a feature and some don't. Remy is a character who probably doesn't have a feature. You can get to be a good Remy, but being a good Remy and beating other players are two different things, as you'll find. Q is simultaneously very easy and very hard. Q does have some rather technical and difficult things, often with his command grab combos. It's more that you'll be challenged to do something really... You'll have, like, no opportunities for the whole round, and then you'll be challenged to do something very, like... You'll be challenged to do a very specific thing very perfectly. You also have to parry a lot because Q's hitbox is shitty. Makoto and Dudley are just fine if you're a beginner, though. I mean, they're both, like, pretty hard, but, like, you can make them work if you're a beginner. You can just work on their easy things, and eventually you'll grow into being able to do their hard things. Follow your heart in this game. Easiest execution-wise, that was just asked. It's probably fucking a-cho or Yang. Ooh, nice jump. I think it's not too crazy execution-wise. She's got some stuff that's pretty damn hard. You got some, like, single-frame juggles in the corner. An aura. Oh yeah, this looks like me already. Yeah. Whoa, a bit far. Hmm. He parried. Okay. My parry wasn't super common there, I think. So it's pretty good. He's losing right now, though. Or I would fit just fine into SF5. Good meter build from this Ryu. I hate fighting players like this. That was strong, would probably work there. Quick stand. Escaping the corner was probably the best thing I could have done there, and it was still super hard. SA2 versus Shadows. That's the new idea. Not very new anymore. Oh, why the backdash? Well, I get it. This doesn't kill, but man, things are getting ugly. I've won rounds that look like this. It's not impossible, especially with Super 2. If there's a Super 2, there's a way. Nice. If he parried that, it could have been over. Isn't that funny? I was feeling that in this recent Wednesday night fights where I got that fucking comeback. On one hand, I want to feel good because that's literally the most tense scenario where I can ever have to do that combo. So it's cool that I got it. But on the other hand, it's like, wow, that was bullshit. I completely just stole that round. Between you guys and myself, my jump medium kick didn't even combo to my close strong, but that usually doesn't work. Ooh. Usually that combo is not a combo you can do. I don't know what our life was doing. It wasn't blocking. Hey, midair. Could go either way, I feel. Oh. No, I kinda like Ryu. Oh, now I really like Ryu. That dungeon is looking scary. Yup, there it is. Yeah, I also got, like, I got robbed in that round a little bit. And then I robbed him back. Can we get the orb back? We got 10 minutes. Oh.
Go for it.
Nice. Get parried, just DP. Fuck the police. The fact that parries give your opponent a reactable window if the opponent parries you. It's good for them, but it also gives you a reactable window. I'm surprised they didn't combo. He did get a level 3 charge though. He definitely could have released. So, for those who don't know, Makoto's extremely weird forward throw is actually minus, and the way that they made it fair was they made Makoto invincible until she, for like 15 frames, she's like invincible until she hits something, and right here Makoto hits nothing. So she can like act right here, but she currently has no hurt boxes. It's kind of funny though. If you're fighting a Ken as Makoto, like Ken Shippu by the frames should punish Makoto's forward throw, but if you actually do it, Ken will Ken's the first 2 hits of Ken Shippu will just fully whiff through Makoto. Are those some Eris emotes? It's not a big deal or anything. You almost never see it. Makoto only keeps the invincibility as long as she hits absolutely nothing, which means she obviously can't exploit the invincibility in any sort of meaningful way. And no one tries to punish Makoto's forward throw or anything like that because, you know, 1, you can't, and 2, like, why would you? Oh. It's just a weird way they decided to program it.
Fighters ready. Engage.
Because they had a throw that didn't knock down. Ooh. I think it was definitely deliberate. Because her SA3 works the same way. All her hurt boxes disappear and they also come back once she does anything. And that's one of the main reasons her SA3 is notable at all. I was talking to our live yesterday. This actually gave me a super interesting take. He's a super cool guy. He was playing SA3 Makoto in casuals, which is apparently like a character. I've played as SA3 Makoto. It's pretty scary. Or it's as scary as, like, you know, it's like not that good. But like, it's not a good super, but his is like the best I've ever seen of anyone using that super. But he said it would be a much better super. This stuck with me. He said it would be a much better super if the meter was like half as long, but also the duration was like half as long. And that's pretty much true. That would give you, like, you'd be able to super more often. There would be less period where the opponent could exploit the fact that you couldn't block. It would basically just be super and get whatever, like, punish or whatever you get with your invincibility, or whatever momentum you can get, and then run away until it wears off, which is almost immediately. And if you get some kind of counter pressure, you just get that, and then you fucking run away. Or it probably wears off already by that point. It would be much better. It was a very simple change. If it was just like a super short meter, like say Ambu.
Now, for battle.
Let's fight like gentlemen.
Fighters ready. Engage.
Really, the flat out of it is just it shouldn't increase her damage by that much, and she should just retain the ability to block, which is pretty much how it worked in SF4. That's a lot less interesting though, but it would definitely be a lot more viable, and people would actually probably pick it here and there.
Gutter trash.
Unfortunately for Makoto, she's got like no special move she can super cancel. She's got Chop, which you can't combo into. And that might be the only one. Fukiyage, I don't even know if Fukiyage cancels the super. I got no idea. You would never do it with any of her supers, so it's a mystery. Dash Punch doesn't cancel the super. Axe Kick obviously doesn't cancel the super, and that's like it. She's out of special moves. No Chop has invincibility in SF3. Not even EX. The only invincibility Makoto has is SA1 and also EX Fukiyage. And EX Fukiyage has a bad hitbox, so the invincibility isn't super useful. So basically just SA1. Invincibility is quite uncommon in Third Strike, so it's not a big deal if you don't have any. There are lots of characters with no invincibility who are still good characters. Yun has next to no invincibility. Chun-Li's got next to no invincibility. If Fukiage cancels SA3, that would... You'd have to land a Fukiage in neutral, which is obviously not easy. And it would have to be non-EX Fukiage, so it would be even harder. But theoretically, that would be good because you would theoretically have access to Fukiage, super cancel, like jump juggle or dash punch juggle or something like that. And that would be pretty powerful. Wow. But he ended up being unsafe anyway because the button he got out after shaking out was a fucking cross and duck or whatever it's called. I forget the name of that. When he's got a special name for cross counter when you cancel into it from his punches. Nice. Then Red, he had to for the punish. Red parrying the last hit was a good idea to attempt there. But I don't blame him for not going for it because he's doing pretty nicely right now. Wow, the confidence. Still got at least one more, maybe two. Third strike matches are pretty fast. Your average third strike match lasts like a minute and a half. Yeah, you can't low parry Denjin. That's like a really common strategy with Denjin if you've never seen that. That's like how you use full charge Denjin, is you get them to eat a low forward while they're in the middle of parrying it. But low charge Denjins are better than full charge Denjins most of the time. Or rather, the opportunities for low charge Denjins show up a lot more frequently. Nice. That certainly wasn't a fucking minute and a half match. That was like a 1 minute match.
Prepare to strike. Now.
Oh. Can that juggle? Probably not, right? Don't think so. It would work into super. But of course he didn't have super. Denjin Ryu is pretty strong. Denjin Ryu fights a lot of the top tiers just fine, honestly. Like Denjin Ryu versus Yun is probably good for Yun, but it's like 5.5, 4.5, or maybe 6.4. Denjin Ryu versus Chun-Li is probably like 6.4 Chun-Li. It's not too bad. No one in this game has a great escape from Denjin. The best escape from Denjin is probably Akuma's teleport. And that's still, Ryu can just set it up so that it would be a red parry. And then teleport's not even a good reply. There's a couple other character specific stuff that's kind of cool. Like if you're Q, you've got SA1 to go through Denjin. If you're Hugo, you've got SA3 to go through Denjin. So that prevents Ryu from doing close range Denjins. But again, Ryu can just like block string into it. Certain characters can do fireball invincible stuff after a parry, like Ibuki's down towards medium kick, the slide. But you've got to get the initial parry, or at least get the right read on when Ryu's gonna Denjin. So it's still a gamble. Ryu could just fucking hold that fucking Denjin. You could slide like a idiot. Like a retard. And then you could recover your slide into the fucking Denjin that you only now releases. Congratulations, you're dead. All of Ryu's supers are pretty close to each other, but Denjin has had generally the most success, tournament-wise. Chun-Li's SA1, if she can get time to get it out, she can do it. But to be honest, I'm not 100% sure. Because Chun-Li just moves during the freeze, and she's done moving once the freeze ends. If Chun-Li does super, I don't know. If Chun-Li does super, it might be that she doesn't actually hit Ryu until she's done moving. Or, like, the freeze ends and then Ryu releases just because he lets go of the button. And it might trade. You gotta lab that. I'm not sure I've ever seen a Chun-Li Super 2 through a Denjin, for the record, but Ryu's might just set it up so she can't do that. But even if they released post-freeze, Q and, you got the trade though, let's fierce. Q and Hugo will just win. They won't trade. So, I guess I'm done here. I gotta go try and fall asleep. We had a nice, long broadcast. Watched a bunch of Third Strike. We had a bunch of, Street Fighter 4 matches. That was fun. This Dudley is good, yeah. I'm going to bed.